This is how yet another tax is being sold to British Columbians.
Try to imagine as a family, somehow you've managed to scrape together a down payment for a place. You've done the math, you sat down with the bank, you figured out the mortgage, and you're able to do it. And you and your realtor are putting in a bid for a home. And then it comes back that you are one of 5 offers for the home. And the other 4 offers are all coming from investors who want to buy the place and flip it for a higher price. Families should not be competing with investors for a place to live. We need to give folks a leg up in the real estate market if they're looking for a place to live for themselves and their family. And that's exactly what the flipping tax does. So if you own a home right now that you're planning on flipping, this is your final warning. This tax is coming in. Make that home available for someone who's actually going to live in it.
That was our premier, David Eby, in his own words, and posted unedited from his Instagram account, trying to tell you why you are yet again a victim of greedy home flippers here in BC. And of course, we all know that yet another new tax trying to tamper down or squash demand rather than deal with the only real solution, which would be to increase supply and do it faster. Not only will this new tax not work, it has the potential to cause the complete implosion of new home starts in BC. And in my opinion, that will cause home prices to continue to increase to even more unaffordable levels. And I'm going to share with you what I think the unintended consequences of this tax will be right after I ask you to subscribe to the channel if you would like to stay up to date on Surrey, BC, and Canadian real estate. And if you're really sick of politicians pitching nothing but affordability crushing taxes as solutions to the current housing crisis, please go ahead and tax the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if this video can get 500 likes, I promise the next time we have the housing minister on our weekly podcast, The Tom Story Show, that I will personally ask him to repeal this tax. But let's face it, after this video, he may not want to come back on. But he is a really good dude. So Ravi, I want you to know the invite is always open. And we really enjoyed you coming on the podcast last time. And now on to winning votes by promising your hard-earned dollars to other people in the name of fairness. So yes, this is pitched as a way to stop incentivizing people from flipping homes, because homes should be for people to live in and not for people to make money from. And if people didn't make money from homes, we would have none. Before I get to the real crushing blow that this tax will deliver to affordability, let's touch on a couple of smaller topics. First, I'm never in favor of removing incentives from people to make money. Although it's not perfect, our current capitalist society is so far proven to be the best type of society that there is. So we should stop taxing every risk taker and business person out there out of their profits. Second, there is already a tax for this. The feds changed home flipping federally from capital gains to income tax, already doubling the tax from an effective 20 to 25% to now 40 to 50% of the profits. Third, can we please stop pretending that fixing up old dilapidated properties is a bad thing? Most flips of resale properties are done by contractors that not only have the skills and knowledge on how to get the work done, but they have the funds needed in order to get those properties up to snuff. Flippers, after all, often upgrade previously unfinanceable properties that very few first-time buyers or families could afford to fix up. Nor would they be able to finance the property in the first place, and they would probably not want to raise their families there. But once the property is fixed, a family can finance that purchase with a conventional mortgage and, well, get on with life. But now let's talk about the tax and what's really going to happen, in my opinion. This has the potential to stall or even crush new development. And to understand why that could be, we have to talk about pre-sales. As of now, it appears that this tax will apply to pre-sale projects after they complete. And it may even apply to pre-sale assignment of contracts that are not yet constructed. Now, I think it's almost criminal that the government would bring in such a tax knowing that there are people who paid their deposit on pre-sale condos 2, 3, or even 4 years ago. And now with higher interest rates, if they can't hold that property or even close on it next year, that for all their hard work of saving up that deposit, putting it in the hands of a developer, paying for the property, not to mention the heartache of maybe making making a small profit or possibly losing your shirt, that they will be squeezed even further by a tax that was not even on the horizon when they signed the original agreement. But this is nothing new, and it's not even specific to the NDP. After all, Christy Clark brought in the foreign buyers tax on less than 2 weeks' notice back in 2016. And well, since then, home prices have doubled. Yeah, taxes don't work. But now let's get back to those pre-sales. The fact is that if you are a pre-sale buyer, you are helping finance the construction of brand new units coming to the market. Generally, a new project cannot even start being built until the developer has sold 50 to 75% of the units or more. So anyone buying a pre-sale unit is helping fund that property's development with their deposits, and without those sales, developments just don't start. And one of the big incentives for investors in pre-construction is that they have the option to live in the unit when it's done. They could rent it out, or if there's potential for a profit or a change in their life, they could possibly resell that property. As let's face it, everybody here buying properties probably thinks it's your right to do so. But yet another thing to consider with pre-sales is the timeline. Completions of pre-sale townhomes can be as little as maybe 6 to 18 months away, but a low-rise condo can be, say, 2 to 5 years, and a high-rise could be 4 to 7 years if there are no delays. But life can change a ton in that 5 to 6 year period. And if you start removing all of my options to make a profit, if indeed I do want to flip that property when it completes half a decade from now, or maybe even before as an assignment of contract, then you are removing my incentives to buy a pre-sale in the first place. And if my only intention is to be a long-term landlord, I'd be way better off buying current housing stock. One, because it's cheaper to the tune of 20 to 30% in my market. And two, the tenant can start paying off my loan right now, which is better for me in the future. And that has the potential to unfortunately flood even more investors into the resale market. And we could see current inventory getting scooped up and put into rental stock and taken away from home buyers. And at the exact same time, we could see sales centers starting to dry up even more than they currently have given market conditions, causing developers to stop launching projects, or even worse, stop them from starting new projects and acquisitions because they have fewer and fewer customers to sell to. And again, that is because the investors have had such a large portion of their financial incentives taken away. And let's face it, if you're buying a 450 square foot condo in my market here of downtown city center, it would be nice to think that you plan on raising your family of 3 kids there 8 years from now, but that's just not the truth. So in order to bring these properties to market, we need investors willing to invest in developers who are then willing to build homes and bring them to market. Increasing supply is the only fix, and government should be incentivizing not only people, but also developers and businesses to bring more homes to the market. Because if they don't, that will leave us with even fewer new homes being built in a marketplace where immigration remains at unsustainable levels. But I'm not here to just be negative about it. There could be a fix, because you might see the NDP tweak this tax, specifically if they start being lobbied by big developers to exempt first-time owners of brand new properties from the flipping tax, as nothing more than a way to ensure that there is enough incentive for investors of pre-sale condos and the developers to keep doing their business to add to the current housing supply. Let me know what you think of this tax, and if I'm blowing this whole thing out of proportion, by leaving me a comment down below this video. And as always, if you need help navigating the market here in my local area of Surrey and the Fraser Valley, you can book a call with me right now using the link in the description below at a time that works best for you. Thank you for subscribing, taxing the like button, and we'll see you in a couple of days.